Wow, good afternoon. Check that out. They've installed the lights along the palisade. Didn't see that before. And the light seems to be controlled by the sun. Solar powered. Way to go. Can't wait for that to open. Anyway, we're now on our way to Marikina. I'm gonna show you one place which I'm always excited to go to. Very nice. So a few vlogs ago, I mentioned something about how street names change. Anyway, the odd thing about this one, this is the border of San Mateo and Marikina. So once I cross this border, I'm now in Marikina. And the funny thing is, before that sign or that marker, the name of this road is Antonio Luna. And once you cross it, I'm now in JT Rizal. Funny, isn't it? But it's part of trivia. There are still much green spaces in this place. But, and you can see the quality of the sidewalk along the main road. And this is maintained by the Marikina city government. It isn't perfect, but among all the places I've walked in the Philippines, this is still the most reasonable one. Considering that this is a long main road. Anyway, by the time we reach the place I was talking to you about, I'll show you how it looks like. Now, you have to remember that these are public spaces. This is not within a subdivision, which is why I'm astonished by these things. And at this corner, they allow these people to put up a small eatery, dining area for people on a motorbike or bicycles. Not bad. More of those dining places at the side of the road. So far everything looks neat, considering that this is the main road. Several decades ago, several decades ago, this used to be a city town, and you could hardly see cars passing through. Amazing how time flies and how things changes. At that street corner, there's a small public market, and over here it's a Shell station, and they have small dining areas in this petrol station. So with the Shell they have mini stuff, and with Petron they have treats. Anyway, if you keep heading up in that direction, you'll end up in Pasig. I've walked there before. It takes maybe from where I am now up to that place would probably take maybe about an hour's walk. Over on my right is a 24-hour Siopao factory. Siopao is a favorite Chinese dim sum. The Filipinos have adopted, and they're very reasonably priced. You buy 3 of those, which are not pretty big. If I'm hungry, I could probably finish all 3, but on a normal day, maybe a 1 or 2. Anyway, 3 of those cost $1. I am already inside the perimeters of Marikina, and the only way I could describe this place, it's still very new to me. And several decades ago, maybe maybe a couple of more than a decade, more than 2 decades ago, they were voted for several years as one of the cleanest cities in the Philippines. And you can only appreciate these things when you're on the ground. I think literally walking and appreciating these things. Although you don't see a lot of people doing what I'm doing, walking and appreciating these things. But once you do, you really appreciate this place. And as I've said, I've walked in different places, and this place has always become a symbol of cleanliness and tidiness. And one of the mayors that they have given credit to for this change in Marikina was Bayani Fernando, and he was considered one of the best mayors. Who eventually, I think, became a senator. But yeah, I salute him and his predecessors, because successors, I mean, because they've still done a good job of maintaining this place. Very, very nice and clean. Stopping to show you the backyard industry. A lot of these things are done here. Still see the condition of the sidewalk. And this is not a subdivision, this is a public road. Look at that, that's Gulaman. And there are a lot of carinderias here, where people can have a quick satisfactory meal for less than $1. That's for a complete meal. We are now in Marikina, and this place is now a little bit more congested, but still orderly. This is Philippine orderliness. Now, I've been to worse places, so believe me, this is good. So some sidewalk stuff. People are looking at me. Tinapa. Let's check out some things that they sell at the market. And this is how a market in this place looks like. And this is why I'm always astonished by this place, because even the public market is very clean. Remember, this is Philippine standard. Some Philippine fruits. Don't look at the apple. These are Chinese longan. Different types of Philippine banana called saba, or sweet banana. This is the heart of the banana tree, or banana shrub. It's not a tree. Bitter melons. Not sure if you've seen this before. That's turmeric. That's kangkong. Nice busy establishments here. And this is sampalok, tamarind, cassava. That's a root. And check this out. That's papaya. These unripe ones is what they use to make atsara or sauerkraut. See this? That's sayote, but that's not local. It's from America. This one is labanos. It's okra. some local fish and some whatever. I'll just check out the names. I'm not really an expert in fish names. This is itlog na maalat. Itlog na maalat is sometimes called, I'm not sure if it's century egg, but anyway, it's a preserved egg. The origins of that is China. Okay. So we are in the commercial district of Parang, and you could appreciate the cleanliness and tidiness of this place. And there are even small diners where you could have some snacks, pizza, hamburger, whatever. And I think this is their business area, official place. If I were to choose another place to live in within Metro Manila, I won't have second thoughts about living here, or any place, or any other place within Marikina. Just as long as you're careful to ask whether that portion floods, because Marikina is known for, some areas are known for flooding. But other than that, the local administration, the local government, is doing a very good job in maintaining cleanliness. And even when there's no pandemic, situation is same here, hasn't really changed. This is the local sorbetes. A corner store. And if you go to these establishments, the prices are not that expensive. They're still very reasonable. You could have a decent meal for maybe less than $1 or $1. Well, those kids are entertained by me. And here's a barbecue stand. Now, what's amazing about the Philippine barbecue is that they call it barbecue, but anywhere else in Southeast Asia, they're called satay. And here's lumpiang prito and chicharon. These are chicharon. So 3 sticks of the barbecue is $2. So I'm still at the side street, and it is still well maintained. Hungry Joe. Now you might be wondering, I keep on repeating those words: well maintained, cleanliness, and tidy. I just can't help myself. I mean, it is really that good. Anywhere you look, it's just my right are street cleaners who are just relaxing after a hard day's work. They seem to be doing their job well, so I got nothing to say. I'm just looking at some of these plants, just in case here's a atis. It's a local atis. But you know what's amazing about the atis, or sugar apple, is that it's not local, it's not native. It's from America. And the local name in America, Anonas, and there are several fruits which we always thought to be native, turns out to be from different parts of the world, especially America. It's amazing what the galleon trade did to um, disperse all these different plants all over the world. I still have to try that fried chicken next time. Seems to be good. And it's named after me. The name of Marikina was adopted from a town of Spain, which is Nueva Vizcaya in Spain. So the name of that town was Marikina, which is spelled with a Q, and they just replaced the Q with an K, and it became locally named as Marikina. That's way back 17th or 18th century. Wow. Computer chips. This is another popular business here in the Philippines, like a Japanese second-hand shop. I once saw a complete Japanese armor being sold in one of those places. I'm really fond of anything Japanese. So, but the problem was, I changed my mind. I almost got lost again. Anyway, I'm back on track. I'm on my way home now. Oh, and another thing about Marikina, it's known as the shoe capital of the Philippines. And it said that some of the shoes of Imelda Marcos before were made in Marikina because Imelda Marcos was a patron of Marikina shoes. So anyway, Marikina was actually Hacienda Marikina before, and it was owned by the family of this Spanish couple who are related to the Sumulongs. Anyway, eventually it was bought from them by the Tuason family. Amazing, isn't it? This Tuason family, who is related to the Tuason, the husband of Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, ancestors of that guy. I'm now at Daang Bakal. Daang Bakal is a remnant, remnant name of what used to be the railroad tracks. So railroad being made of steel, so they just named it Daang Bakal. And what's amazing about this road, it is a straight road, which normally our railroad lines are, and it's straight. This road goes all the way to Montalban. And if you look on the opposite side, that road goes all the way to Pasig River. Obviously, this was built during the Spanish times. It would be very difficult to do something large scale as this today. Imagine taking land from people to create a straight line. That's the reason why every time they develop new rail lines, it's normally above ground, but not on ground level anymore. So this is the sad part about our history, because they never developed this further after the Spanish. Well, the Americans still developed it when they took over the Spaniards after the 1900s. They still developed the rails, but after the liberation of 1945, especially when we took independence from America, everything changed. Would have been good if we saw these things developed further, because transportation of goods transportation of people, lesser traffic on the road. But now you see that these places are now developed communities. Houses left and right. And what's amazing about these houses, which could have started off as informal settlers decades ago, are now fabulous houses. I'll show you some examples of amazing houses along this road. There are examples of amazing houses. And some of them are even 5 stories high. See, in a developed country, you have government housing, which are all standard. But you know that the government is looking after the people. Hi. But what's amazing here is that you don't even know whether these lands were awarded to these people. But if they did, I mean, they're so lucky. Because years later, they start building mansion-like houses. I'm really surprised. Chicharon. That was chicharon. That guy was selling chicharon. And chicharon is very common in South American countries as well. Even Spain has chicharon. And some of the old houses from before, you could tell that those houses are probably dates back to war. Late 40s, early 1950s. Then suddenly you see these houses made. No matter what anybody says, the roads are still well maintained, clean and tidy. Here's another house. Amazing. Only imagine how quiet this place is at night. This is Filipino music. We are now headed back to the main road, and so far the roads are still good. So over on my left is a coco stand or coconut stand, where you could buy a refreshing drink made from coconut. But if you like, you can buy your own coconut for 75 US cents. The development of this place, right and left. Now remember, this road is now JP Rizal. So let's say more than about 20 years ago, most of these establishments didn't exist yet. There's a guy! As I've said, I'm attracting a lot of attention. And I'm not even a foreigner. I'm just a local lad who looks different. The most popular name they use every time they see a foreigner is Joe. And here's another Filipino fast food, Goto. I'm not sure if you had those before, but Goto is just lugaw or congee or porridge. Famous in this place is this caramelized lechon, and they seem to be closed. I'm not sure, but they're very popular during Christmas season. And what makes this lechon place different is that they use the innards, the contents of the stomach of the pig, to make it into adobo or dinegoan. So dinegoan is a food with blood, pig's blood, and cooked in vinegar with lots of onion and I think ginger as well. Anyway, so whenever you buy it, lechon is normally cooked without the innards. The stomach is lined with a lot of herbs and spices. So that's the promotion they do. So every time you buy their lechon, the innards they'll cook for you in an extra dish that you like. But the Filipinos love hamburgers. Everywhere you go, either lechon manok, chicken, fried chicken, or roasted chicken, and you have the hamburger. You want something quickly, just buy one of those, take it home. A chicken, lechon manok, would cost about $5. Before COVID-19, most establishments closed between 9 and 11 p.m. at night. But after the COVID-19 struck, they normally close early now. Latest will normally be about 7 p.m. I wanted to show you this plant. That plant is called tawa-tawa. Sorry, tangan-tangan. And it's a castor oil plant. That's where the castor oil comes from. Amazing, isn't it? It grows abundantly in these empty lands here. And it's just like a weed. Another unusual plant. This is locally called is alagasi. And it's normally used for sandpapering. They normally use it for cleaning pots and pans after cooking, make it shiny again. These fruits, right? These fruits and flour, they come from the plant. They are called kapok trees. Do you remember those pillows before? Whenever you open the pillow, it's got something like a cotton inside. Cotton-like substance, and but when you want to buy the pillows, here they are. A lot of these trees here. So anyway, you normally ask the sales lady if you could buy kapok pillows. So this is where those kapok comes from. When those fruit matures, it becomes it becomes like a shell, the skin of the fruit, and inside it's like cotton. And that's the thing that's called kapok. When it matures, it becomes kapok. Okay, I'm now back inside our subdivision. I normally remove my face mask when I'm inside the gate. And about the kapok, it's not native to the Philippines. It was also introduced to the Philippines by Spain. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's from America. Okay, I'm signing off. See you at the next vlog. Just in case you haven't seen a pineapple plant before. And again, pineapples are also not native, but it's adapted to Philippine tropical climate, so it grows abundantly here. And Del Monte has a big plantation in southern Philippines.